back to the channel, everyone. My name's Evan. Today we are going to be continuing to do some work on Bad Bug. We're going to take it easy today because I'm sleepy. I want a nap. So we're only going to use a couple tools today. We're going to take off some of the trim items. We're going to get the mirrors out and then some of the trim items inside today. So I'm using a wrench and a screwdriver. Like I said, a pretty easy day. But what I also want to do is talk to you a little bit while I'm working. We'll give it a shot. I don't normally do this because I'm always concentrating on my work. You know, I've told you before about how I'm not really mechanical, so you know, you might see my concentration face with my tongue sticking out like that. But I am no mechanic, and when I inherited this thing, you know, I drove it 10 years or so, kind of in this condition, and it's been needing some love. You know, this thing was redone back in the early or mid 80s, so it sat in this condition for quite a while, so it's more than time. But I was supposed to be doing this with my dad, and unfortunately he passed away just a little over 2 years ago. So that's one of the reasons why I had this nice shop. I spent some of my inheritance to get this. So I'm doing this solo, and it's a little bit scary because I'm not that much of a mechanic. I can change my oil, and I can change a tire if I happen to have a flat, but other than that, I really don't know what I'm doing. So this is a great learning experience for me, and we're going to be getting into some stuff here pretty quick where I am going to need some help. So I've been playing on Facebook and looking online and trying to learn as much as I can from some other people, and luckily I've got a brother who is he's fairly mechanical, so I'll be leveraging him as well. All right, so that was pretty easy. That just came right off. Let's move to the other side. Lefty loosey. So I think the last time I worked on this car, I was probably about 8 or so. I can remember running home from school, excited, A, because it was in my driveway, and B, because I got to help my dad and my grandfather. My grandfather was a lot like me. He was not very mechanical, but a heck of a driver. He had some natural driving abilities, which I hope have come on to me. I like driving more than I like turning wrenches, but you know, this is a good opportunity to learn. All right, second one's off. I'm gonna go inside. So here we are inside. We got a few screws to pull out, and then we'll get all this stuff in here taken down. We might do some of the dash trim at a later date, but it's coming along nicely. Yeah, some of my best memories are we visited my grandparents quite often, and this thing was always parked outside, and it just loved to see it, right? We'd turn the corner and start down my grandparents' road, and I'd get all excited. At the time, this thing was kind of a yellowish color, and just seeing it just made me happy. You know, I've always been a huge Volkswagen fan, but this thing has always been just a little bit different, just a little bit special. You know, it's kind of legendary to me. Maybe not to many other people, but this thing was one of the first hot bugs in Springfield, Missouri. Definitely no means the fastest. There's a lot of guys out there with some pretty fast cars, but this was an inspiration for me. And when I turned 16, actually when I turned 17, my first car was a '73 Beetle. But when I turned 17, we had found another 66 for sale in Marshfield, and we jumped at the chance to get that because this thing's a 66, and I've always just been in love with this year. Nothing really special about it, but just because of this car. So it was an inspiration when I got that car, and I told my dad, I said, when we're building this, I wanted my Bug to beat this Bug. That was the goal. I wanted to build a faster Bug than this thing, and we've pretty much accomplished that. But that car has a much bigger motor than this thing does. But you know, it's always just been inspirational for me. And I can remember for a while we were big into going to car shows, and in Springfield, Steak and Shake would have their every first Saturday of the month cruise-ins, and my grandfather didn't come out very often. He wasn't much of a car show fan. He just liked having nice cars and driving them. But this thing, it just has a recognizable sound. The exhaust, I don't see many other Bugs with this kind of exhaust, and it's just loud and it's rowdy, and he would pull in, and my grandfather was a rowdy guy. He'd race anything in this car. Win or lose, he'd race anything just to have fun. And I think that kind of is what built the aura of this car for me, is that, you know, no matter what, he was racing and having fun. But he'd pull in and rev the motor, and the exhaust is kind of loud, and you know, it would draw attention. People would just flock to it, right? Because this is a little economy car. It's slow, it's cute, it's, you know, it had its own aura from the 70s and 60s, you know, a hippie mobile and stuff like that. And this car is just so opposite of that. You know, people would just flock to it and ooh and on. You know, they'd ask questions, and my grandfather would love to talk about it. So, I don't know. It's just really special to me, and I'm excited that I'm here working on it. All right, we got one more screw, and we're done. I'm going to share a pro tip with you, a baggie for all your screws. Label it too, so that you know what screws are in there. But these are all broken, so I'm going to have to order some new ones. Actually, I better go get that. I don't like having a dirty floor. Throw that away later. All right. Last one and we are done. So it looks like these things are going to need some reconditioning. There we go. Got it out. All right. Well, like I said, something small today, nice and easy. I might go take a nap. I don't know, but I wanted to come out here and at least get a little something done today. You know, we're on layoff because of the coronavirus, so we got lots of time on our hands. So hopefully I'll be able to be out here a little bit more, getting some more work done on this thing. It's coming along pretty well. You know, we've got lots of stuff done to it, and still more to go. But I think I want to get the fenders next week, maybe this weekend, I don't know. And then it'll really look weird. It already looks weird without the bumpers and the trunk and deck lid and the windows being out. So, all right. Well, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me today and listen to me ramble on about this old car, what it means to me. So, If you like this video, please remember to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and share the channel with your friends. All right, thanks for watching, everybody.